Hi, I'm Roxie. Welcome to my kaleidoscope of butterflies. I'm so pleased that you've made the decision to do something for yourself, to work on being the best version of you can possibly be. I'm really excited to take you through the butterfly plan. It's something I feel really passionate about. It's something that for me has been life-changing, and in fact other women who have already gone through the plan have found it life-changing as well. Some of you will be here because you have a lot of weight you would like to lose. Some are here because you're just not happy within yourself, or you're looking to improve your life in some way or another. You might be feeling stressed and anxious. You might be struggling. You might be feeling just like a big old moth and you want to be a butterfly. Well, that's wonderful. Whatever your reason, I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm really, really proud and pleased to be able to share the butterfly plan with you. To give you a bit of a background, toward the end of 2018, I was feeling just crap. I was heavier than I'd ever been. I'd had a knee injury. I'd torn my meniscus and just stupidly just rolled my ankle and tore my meniscus, and so I hadn't been able to do much exercise. I really hadn't done anything for 12 months. Prior to that, I'd done a bit of yoga, which I was really enjoying, but then we moved and I gave that up. I used to love walking in the mornings, but with the torn meniscus, my knee was too sore and I just couldn't do that. And then we moved again, and then I kind of lost interest in that. To be honest, I think I was probably a little bit depressed. When I look back on it now, I know that I wasn't feeling great. I think to the outside world, I was always, shiny and happy and, very social media perfect. But the reality for me was that life was a bit of a struggle. My partner doesn't enjoy good health, and I think that coming to terms with that and realising that probably the bulk of caring for myself and our family and him and my kids was going to fall on me, that I was going to be the one who would have to be responsible for that. And whilst that's absolutely great, it suddenly dawned on me that I just wasn't as well as I could be. I was heavier than I'd probably ever been in my life, and I'd tried diets and would lose 5 kilos here or there, and then would pretty much put that back on plus some, which is so frustrating. And I know that you'll probably really relate to that, because nearly every woman I speak to does. At the same time, I was probably drinking too much alcohol and drinking a lot more frequently than I certainly do now, but probably drinking, if not every day, every other day. I don't know that alcohol's ever been a really good friend to me. And I know a lot of you will relate to that as well, but maybe you've not ever had an issue with alcohol, but you've found yourself at this stage in life where it's just kind of one of the few things that you have that does actually make you feel a bit better. Realistically, we're self-medicating with it, which is completely understandable, because at times life can be just shit, and sometimes we just need that. If anything, we just need that. Well, hopefully the butterfly plan, which it did for me, will show you that you don't need that. You really don't need that. That we can do things for ourselves and for our health that mean that we don't need to self-medicate with alcohol or any other kinds of drugs, that we don't need to treat ourselves with really bad foods, and that we don't need to feel bad about who we are, because we have got the strength within ourselves to be the best we can be. I was a hot mess, I think, really, at that point. But not even a hot mess, actually, a pretty sluggish old moth of a mess. And that's how I felt. I felt like a big old moth, and I wanted to be a beautiful, vibrant butterfly. People have said to me since, knowing what I was like last year, and now looking at who I am and what I'm like now, that it wasn't that I didn't look great, and it wasn't that I didn't look well. I just looked like me. But now I look like a vibrant, dynamic, amazing, healthy, incredible version of me. Somebody said to me the other day, "Oh my God, the whites of your eyes are so white." And I think that that's got to do with just being healthy and well and really loving my life and loving my newfound wellness. So that's what I want to share with you. That's the energy I want to give you. So what we're going to do with the stuff, and gosh, I've got all that baggage too, but all that stuff, I'm just going to put that to one side for a moment. The butterfly plan is about you. It's about you being the best you can be for yourself, but also for everybody around you. I think that women, we get to this stage in our life and we feel like we've just been giving out. And it's not that we haven't wanted to. That's part of who we are, and we've been giving out to everybody else. Well, now it's time to give to ourselves, and not in a way that, it's another glass of wine, not in that kind of way, but give to ourselves in a way that's going to nourish us and make us feel wonderful and the best we've ever felt in our life. And that's my plan for you and everybody, and in fact for myself. That's my plan for myself. When I first came up with the idea of the butterfly plan, it was really just for me. It was in a little old Excel spreadsheet, and I thought, no, I'm just going to do this. I'd gone away on holidays. I didn't do it over Christmas. I actually knew I had to do something, and it was before the end of 2008. I thought, no, let's have Christmas, let's do all of that. Then I was going away and staying in my caravan in the beautiful seaside town of Torquay. And I thought, I'll do that. And while I'm away, I'll think about what I need to do to make myself well and healthy. At the same time, part of my master coach accreditation for my life coaching, I was doing a wellness coaching course, the component of that. So I did that wellness coaching certificate, and a lot of what we were studying in that certificate, which I did across the summer, which is the Australian summer, so across January, was sort of things that really resonated with me around wellness and how to look after yourself, look after what goes in here, but also what you do around you, and whether that's to do with how you move your body or whether that's to do with how you're working with your mind. So I sort of combined what I was learning with some things that I kind of knew organically. I knew that if I walked in the morning and got the sun on my face, I felt so much better. I didn't know why, I just knew that that worked for me. I knew that if I exercised, did anything, the walk in the morning or yoga or anything, that my mood would be elevated. I knew that if I did something first thing in the morning, that by 3 o'clock I wouldn't be exhausted. I was at a point where I would have I'd have a nap in the afternoons. I would have a sleep, a little nana nap, before I'd have to go and work on the radio or before I'd have to do anything. And I'd do it sort of sneakily. I think, no one's home. No one needs to know that I'm having this sleep. I don't know why I thought I had to keep that a secret, but I suppose it was an indication that I just wasn't coping very well. So I knew though that if I had my morning walk, for some reason that actually gave me more energy to get through the day, which seemed counterintuitive, but it's the truth. So I knew all these things, and I guess that what I wanted to do was come up with a plan where I could combine all the things that had worked for me and put them together. Instead of just doing one thing, instead of just walking, or instead of just doing like a Michael Mosley. I'm a bit of a fan of his. The 5-2 diet I think is awesome. A lot of that really informs what you'll find in the butterfly plan around the food, around intermittent and interval fasting. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But with that, I really liked what that was, his ideas around that. I loved yoga, and I knew that when I did it, I felt really good in here. I never thought I was going to be able to meditate because I'm such an A-type personality and I'm always on the go and I'm always there. But I've found that meditation is probably one of the greatest gifts we can give to ourselves, and it's so darn easy. And anyone can do it. Even somebody as kooky as me can do it. And if I can, you can. So I put all of this stuff together. And then from that, I decided, all right, when I leave my caravan at the end of my little summer vacation, I actually call it the summer office. When I leave the summer office and I come back to reality, bang, I'm going to start. This is what I'm going to do. So that's what I did. A few things. I'm going to do yoga. I'm going to start eating properly. I'm going to start really looking after myself, and I developed this plan. Within a month, I'd lost quite a bit of weight. Within 12 weeks, I'd lost 20 kilos. I'd actually set that as my goal. I wanted to lose 20 kilos. I wanted to have my waist within an acceptable range, a healthy range. I wanted to feel better than I ever had. I wanted to stop being exhausted in the afternoons and wanting to have a sleep. I wanted to fit into a comfortable size 14-16 instead of the 18-20 that I'd become. I wanted to, have more energy. And to be honest, I just wanted to feel good. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to feel good. So that is why I've come up with this plan. I put it all together, and now I've outlined it for you in this document. It covers a few areas. It covers mind, which is really important. Movement, which is also really important. In fact, that's all really important. That's the point of it. Your gut, your mouth, and your joy. All of these things are so important to you being the best you can be and to be as well as you can be. Well-being, I believe, is getting yourself into a state of flow where life and everything that presents itself to you will come into your life and go out of your life, and you're able to manage it, you're able to deal with it, you're able to move forward with a positive attitude and with ease. When we have well-being right across, no matter what part of our life we're talking about, when we can do that, when it's not a struggle, then we're in a state of flow. And that's what we want. And when you're in flow, that's when you can flourish. And so that's what I'm hoping the Butterfly Plan will be for you. It's certainly what the Butterfly Plan has been for me. So starting off, the mind. The mind's the most important thing. Well, as I said, they're all important. But the mind is one of the most important things that we have. It's the one thing that we can control. There are a lot of things in our life we can't control, but it is the one that we can control. The mind only knows what we tell it. We tend to think that our mind, our brains rule the world, that they're our brains. Well, I'm here to tell you I don't think they are. I think our real brain is in our gut. I think that's where our real brain is. That's where the real work gets done, and that's why it's such an important part of this plan. But our minds are actually there for us. They're the thing that we can control, we can use to our advantage, and we can use to our disadvantage. One of the things that I realised when I went through this process is that I almost felt like I'd discovered this naughty little 3-year-old that lived inside me, my inner 3-year-old. And I talk about that a bit through the plan. We all have one. Our inner 3-year-old is the one that wants the glass of wine and then the second glass of wine. And let's be real, our wine glasses aren't a standard glass. My wine glass is like half a bottle. So that's the one that wants the glass of wine, the 3-year-old. The 3-year-old is the one that wants, wants the cake, sort of feeling hungry, and even though she knows that you'd be better off just drinking some water because that can sometimes just help when you're feeling a bit hungry, no, she'll go for the cake or the biscuit. That's the 3-year-old. The 3-year-old is the one that gets annoyed when we're on a diet. The 3-year-old is the one that will sabotage us at every opportunity. The reason I call her the inner 3-year-old is that 2-year-olds, it's all about them. Now, if you're a mum, you'll know this stuff. 2-year-olds, it's all about them. But they're actually not smart enough yet to figure out how to manipulate you. 3-year-olds, on the other hand, they got it figured out. It's all about them, and they know how to manipulate you. They've figured that out. So that's why this is our inner 3-year-old. Well, you know what you've got to do with the inner 3-year-old? You've got to take her, tell her you love her, but you're sitting her in the corner. She doesn't rule your life. Well, she probably does at the moment. But if you don't want her to, if you want to do the butterfly plan, you've got to sit her in the corner and tell her that she doesn't rule your life. When she gets, oh no, because I'm on a diet and I can't have a drink and I can't do this and I can't do that and I just want it for me, that's your 3-year-old. You tell your 3-year-old, your grown-up self tells your 3-year-old, no, don't do that to me. I'm the one in control here. I've got a goal and I'm sticking to this. This is about me being the best I can be. I get that you want the glass of wine and I get that you want to eat the cake. And whilst I could do that if I really wanted to, because I'm a grown-up, I'm making my own decisions, that's not what this is about. I'm doing the butterfly plan. That's not what this is about. What this is about is me taking control. One of the women who did was the first woman to go through the plan. She said to me at the end of it, the thing she had noticed the most was that she felt like for the first time ever, she was back in control. Like she actually felt like she was back in control of herself. Now, isn't that weird? Because we are in control of ourselves, we just don't know it. Well, we've let the 3-year-old run the show. And just like you would not on any level let a 3-year-old run your life, you're not allowed to let this 3-year-old run your life either. So put her in the corner, sit her there. She can come out occasionally. Well, try not to let her out too often. And what you'll find is, like, I still have the little 3-year-old and I still have the conversations. No, back in the corner. Because that's just a part of who we are. But the 3-year-old cannot run your life. The person who can run your life is you. You're intelligent. You've travelled to this age, this amazing, wonderful age that we're at. You've travelled to this age and you've learnt so much. You've experienced so much. You're doing so much. You've travelled, you're running corporations, you're being bosses in your jobs, you've raised a whole family, you probably manage the life of everybody in your family. You may very well have looked after parents and may very well, like me, have buried parents. We have come a long way and we are amazing women. So now is the time to take control and say to ourselves, right, I'm going to actually control who I am and what I do. And I am going to make the decision to take responsibility for myself. I'm not going to cop out. I'm not going to say it's all too hard, because that's the 3-year-old. Because I know it's not all too hard. I've been through worse than this. And not that this is even that bad. This is great. This is about my wellness. But gosh, every single one of you has been through tough shit. And you've survived. And you've gotten yourself to where you are today. So the next 12 weeks are not going to be anywhere as hard as some of the things that you've already endured. Not even close. And the outcome of this 12 weeks is that you will come out the other side feeling better, healthier, more vibrant, weller than you ever have in your life. So take control. Be the best version of you can be, and take responsibility for what you're about to do. That's about this. That's about telling yourself that.